welcome to the GameCast release radar. This show is back from the dead. I had sort of put it off for a while because being busy and everything, but now I am not busy. Well, I am, but I'm still going to make the show, so let's get on with it. The first game we're going to talk about is a game that has come out of early access after a very, very long time. We're talking about Subnautica. A lot of you must know what Subnautica is by now. It's one of the very popular early access games. Started out quite a while ago now, but as of the 23rd of January it has been released into a full experience, priced at $19.49 in pounds. That's about $23, $24, $25. And it is basically an underwater survival game. You craft equipment and you've crashed on this alien planet and there's no land for some reason, whatever that is. You fight off creatures. From what I've heard, it is basically equal parts immersive and terrifying in some regards. And now that it's out of early access, I'm quite interested to maybe pick it up and see what it's about. Certainly got very good reviews, and there's a lot of things that suggest to me that this game is definitely worth playing, especially if you're the kind of person who gets caught up in things like Minecraft or Ark Survival Evolved. And now that it's a full experience, I'm quite keen to check it out. The next game I'm going to talk about very briefly is Dragon Ball FighterZ. I'm just going to get it sort of all the bigger releases out of the way. There's not been a lot of interesting indies this week. The next two will be, but yes, Dragon Ball FighterZ, whatever you want to call it, has finally come out. And thank God it is as good as we hoped it was going to be, from what I've heard. There will be a full review up on GameCast probably in the next week or two, if there isn't one already by the time this video goes out. And goodness, I've not bought it yet. I certainly want to, but of course I don't have the money to right now. It is just one of the best looking games of the last year or two. Certainly in terms of keeping faithful to the art style that it's trying to mimic. And from all accounts, it's a very balanced fighting game. And a lot of it is skill based. There's not a lot of random bullshit that you can do. So oh, it's so worth checking out. If not for that, for the fact that it's got really good business practices, unlike so many other larger games at the moment. The next little game I'm going to talk about is called Delver. It came out on the 1st of February, priced at £11.39, and it's its art style is very reminiscent of, I don't know, to be honest. It's got a very Doom style of actually playing. It's 2.5D sprites against a 3D environment, but it has actually got layers on it as opposed to Doom's like artificial layering system. It's basically a sort of modern Doom style, but the art is more reminiscent of more modern survival-y games like Terraria, that kind of thing, but it's a 3D dungeon crawling roguelike. I don't know, I'm just sold on it by the look of the game. It looks just lovely, and that really sells me on it. I don't know why necessarily, but it really just looks the part, and they've done a really good job. You can tell that there's been a lot of love put into this game, and I'm really quite excited to get this and play it. The final game I'm going to talk about today is a game that is in early access. It came into early access on the 23rd of January, priced at £16. It's called My Time in Portia, and Portia is the name of a town, and it is basically the whole Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon style of game, but less focused on any of those kinds of art styles. It's more cel-shaded environments to a point, but with a lot of 3D rendered detail and loveliness. The only thing I dislike about the art style in this game is the sort of chibi-headed nature of the characters. That kind of puts me off a little bit, but that's just me personally and how I like these kinds of games. But there's even a bit of combat in there, much like there was in Stardew Valley's weird little coal dungeon thing. There's certainly a lot of different elements going on in the game, and it looks like really they're going to just develop the story of the game as it goes through early access, because by the look of it, the core elements of the game are mostly there, and it's looking pretty good to me. So that might be worth checking out. So that brings us to the end of another GC Release Radar. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, subscribe or a share, whatever you fancy. Our social links are down in the description, along with a link to our Discord, where you can join in some lovely public chat. This show will be back on a more permanent basis now, maybe with some different hosts if I don't have time to do it, but we'll see how we get on with that. And otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this show. Stay tuned to GameCast for news, reviews, Let's Plays, podcasts, lots of lovely things all coming up. And hopefully in the next week, our Twitch launch will be happening soon. So stay tuned to all of our social spaces for that. And I will see you next time for more releases.